What's up, guys? It's Chris here to give some predictions for this weekend's boxing events. Real quick before that, I'm gonna just say a few things, cover a couple of things real quick. First off, I want to welcome Max Boxing's Gabriel Montoya. He is now joining Leave It in the Ring radio show, so he's going to be a co-host every week on the show. So good to have him on and become part of the Leave It in the Ring team. In regards to this week's show, not going to have a show on Thursday because Dave, 97 Rough's going to be covering a fight, but we are going to have a show on Friday, so show's going to be Friday, 5 o'clock, 8 Eastern as usual. Also, real quick, be sure and check out Fight Camp 360 on Showtime tonight. New episode, just got done watching it. Most of it's covering the Abraham Durrell fight, pre-fight, during the fight, aftermath. Really good episode, really good stuff. At the very end, they also do a little bit of coverage on the upcoming Mikhail Kessler Carl Froch fight. So definitely, probably my favorite episode thus far, especially just with all the stuff that went on with the Durrell Abraham fight. So be sure and check that out. Well worth the viewing. Moving on to the fights going down this weekend. First up, Evander Holyfield's fighting Francois Botha. Yeah, not really looking forward to this fight. Probably not even going to see it. It is on pay-per-view. It's only $10. It's probably the cheapest pay-per-view I've ever seen in my life. In all honesty, aside from, renting a movie or something. I mean, I think that's about the same price as an adult film on pay-per-view. I don't know. What do you say about this fight? Two guys that are well past their prime. I will give Evander Holyfield this. I thought he was going to get beat decisively by Nikolai Valuev, but I actually thought he won that fight. It was a boring fight, not the most. It was a good performance for a Holyfield at this point in his career. I thought he won. He got robbed on the decision, so he does have a little bit more left than what I thought. Although that can also be an indictment on Nikolai Valuev. But either way, Francois Botha, he hasn't really won a meaningful fight or even been involved in one in years. As much as I think Holyfield's past his prime, I think Botha's even more well past his. I mean, the guy was fighting in K1 and MMA over there in Japan for a while. Not successful at all. But he got knocked out by Mighty Mo, a K1 fighter, former boxer, didn't really have much success in boxing himself. So I think this is not going to be the most entertaining fight. But I do think Evander Holyfield will probably win by a decision. So that's all I got to say about that. Moving on to the HBO doubleheader. First up, we have Celestino Caballero moving up to featherweight to fight Daoud Yordan. Originally, I believe the opening bout was supposed to be Robert the Ghost Guerrero taking on Michael Katsidis, a fight I was really looking forward to. I thought that would have been a really barn burner of a fight, but unfortunately, Robert, had to withdraw because his wife was still having issues with her cancer and stuff. So hopefully things are getting better. Robert's coming back soon, so hopefully that means things are getting better with his wife. But we are getting the Caballero Yordan fight. I think it's good that Caballero's moving up to featherweight, especially now that Juan Manuel Lopez has already moved up to featherweight. That was really the only real intriguing fight for him, I think, at junior featherweight at this point. Yordan, the only fight I've ever really seen him in was the Guerrero fight, the Robert Ghost Guerrero fight on HBO last year. He was winning that fight before the cut, but he looked good in that fight. But I don't know. The thing is, he was brought in as an opponent for that fight. Don't make no mistakes. Golden Boy Promotions had just signed Guerrero. They're touting him as one of their future prospects or stars. So don't believe that Yordan was brought in, even though he is an undefeated fighter, that he was brought in to win that fight by any stretch by Golden Boy. Now, he may have, tipped the apple cart, as they say. Hard to say, but Caballero, good fighter. He's got the height advantage, got the reach advantage. Very awkward style. It's really hard for me to, really analyze this fight just because I haven't seen much of Yordan. But I am going to favor Caballero. Has had some impressive performances over the last couple of years. Most notably against, I believe it was Steve Molitor that he blew out not too long ago. So I am going to favor Caballero to win this fight. Probably by decision. But I won't be surprised by any stretch if Daoud Yordan's able to pull it out, just because he did look good in the Guerrero fight. He is the naturally bigger fighter. and I just can't, I don't really know what his deficiencies are because he's an undefeated fighter. So I'm interested in seeing the fight, but I'm going to favor Caballero by decision. Moving on to the main event, we got Andre Berto defending his welterweight title against Carlos Quintana. Berto coming off the win over Juan Urango, who is moving up from junior welterweight to take on Urango or Berto for the title. Don't really know why that was. That was over a year ago, or actually it was almost a year ago. Berto was scheduled to defend his title against Shane Mosley in January. We all know what happened. They had the unfortunate earthquake in Haiti. Berto has family members there. He withdrew from the fight, just said he couldn't be focused at the time. And, now we got Shane's going to fight Floyd Mayweather. And Berto is defending his title against Quintana. In all honesty, I would have preferred to see Andre Berto take on Luis Collazo in a rematch. I know Collazo is highly ranked still as a contender for Berto's title. I do think even though Berto got the decision, I would like to see that rematch. I do think it's a bit of unfinished business. But, hopefully we'll get that rematch sometime. Quintana, he's compiled a few wins after losing his rematch where he got knocked out and won by Paul Williams, a rematch in a fight that he won the first fight. Andre Berto's a heavy betting favorite going into this fight, but I don't know. Quintana's a very good fighter, His only two losses are to Miguel Cotto and Paul Williams, Granted, I thought that, the Cotto fight I thought he pretty much got blown out in, and the second Williams fight obviously he got destroyed in. But he did beat Paul Williams in the first fight, and pretty impressively, actually. Andre Berto, faster fighter, better hand speed, better foot speed. Technically, it's hard for me to say who's better, Andre Berto makes quite a few mistakes, got a great uppercut, but doesn't have the best defense. Carlos Quintana is a pretty sneaky technical fighter, in all honesty. Berto, I would give the edge to in power. I think Andre Berto would be smart to go to Quintana's body, because Quintana has been fighting a little bit above welterweight recently. I don't know if it's going to be hard for him to make the 147 limit. I wouldn't imagine it's not going to be, but Berto's a good body puncher. I think it would be smart to go to Quintana's body. Collazo. See, I'm already mixing them up. I don't know, but I don't think that this is by any stretch going to be a one-sided fight. I definitely see Quintana having a lot of success in spots, but I am going to favor Andre Berto in this fight. He is the favorite for a reason, and I do think, Andre Berto's a good fighter. I don't know how good. I would have really liked to see the Shane Mosley fight to really get a gauge on how good he is. He doesn't really have that one definitive win yet, in my opinion. He's got some pretty good names on his ledger, but he just hasn't faced the top opposition, in the Urango fight, He beat Urango by decision, but look at Urango since then. He got knocked down. He beat Randall Bailey, but he got knocked down by Bailey, who's a big puncher. He got knocked out by Devin Alexander at 140 in his last fight. So, I don't know, man. Really looking forward to this fight. I think this will be the toughest test of Berto's career, aside from the first Luis Collazo fight. I think Quintana should go watch that fight, see what Collazo did successfully in that fight. Try to, get a blueprint of what works against Andre Berto. But ultimately, I do think Andre Berto is going to win this fight. I think it'll be relatively close. 7-5 rounds maybe. Probably more like 8-4. But I do think it'll go to a decision. But ultimately, once again, I see Andre Berto pulling this out. Not the most technical analysis or breakdown on my part. Apologies for that. But it is what it is. Anyways, be sure to check out the websites at WorldWideBloodFightShow.com, LeavingInTheRing.com, IStandAndFight.com, my Twitter if you're interested. Links in the information part as always. Probably back on Sunday to give my thoughts afterwards. Maybe, I don't know, I'm watching UFC that night. It just depends on how the fights go. But until then, y'all, I'm out.